Hello, everyone, and welcome to the final episode of 2021 for the SWW Show. It's me, AJ. Mike's here with me, too. We've got a pretty packed show ahead of us. We've got some Game of the Year stuff to talk about.
It is everyone's favorite time of the year. The lights are out. It gets dark a lot earlier, and we are back to roast a lot of people. A lot of great people. No, let's be honest. We're here to roast a lot of idiots. Here at the what do we call the award show? And I have one glove on, just for people know, to really get in the spirit of the award show. We are here for the W's, which is really a misleading name because it's really the L's. But
yeah, we're dropping hot L's on people.
They stink.
What we've been playing is basically what we've seen on stream. Mike, I know you've been playing Pokemon, but you and I both played Halo, and we'll save our Halo talk because it's part of our Game of the Year stuff, so we'll save that. So, Pokemon.
Pokemon. So Diamond and Pearl remakes. And you have some Pokemon experience, right, AJ? Just not a ton.
Yeah, not a ton.
Okay. So Diamond Pearl, 4th gen. It's remakes. Background. This is the first Pokemon game, I believe, of the mainline, which they define like that mainline games, that is not by Game Freak. Which is Diamond and Pearl. So they got it's foundationally the same game, which I think was a lot of complaints, which I don't understand. It's what I want. The valid complaints in this game, though, is it's decently buggy. I've not seen a mainline Pokemon game where you get like stuck in rooms before and have to reload saves, and it's entirely unbalanced. So I think, AJ, you're broadly familiar with the Pokemon concept of you go through 8 gyms, go through Elite Four, like you kind of level as you go up.
Yeah. When
I get to the 8th gym, and this experience for everyone, you're about like 20 levels ahead of the gym leader. Just naturally, by playing that game.
I think the last time I played a Pokemon game, that was my situation. I was just so far ahead of everyone.
But this is like me decently like mainlining, not doing every side thing, being that far ahead. Like you should be, like if you're like, I'm a couple levels ahead, it's not a big, like that's like normal, okay, big deal. It's a kid's game. When you're like 20 levels ahead, you just walk in.
Do they have, is it the new style, like a Sword and Shield, where you can see everything?
What do you mean by see everything?
Like you can see the Pokemon in the tall grass and things like that?
No, so they got rid of, there is areas where that can happen, but they kind of limited it to those kind of, to Diamond Pearl, it's like base Diamond Pearl, and then they added new, like undergrounds, like a whole new kind of, that didn't exist in the game in the way it does in this game. And that's one where they did add, like, where you could see Pokemon again and stuff.
Gotcha.
So yeah, no, it's Pokemon. Apparently a lot of people are upset because it's just Diamond and Pearl again, which I don't understand. When you see when I see a Pokemon remake, I feel like that's what I wanted from it, so I don't fully understand the complaints. But
and it's a remake, like
it's not a reboot.
It's not like it's not like the Resident Evil games where like Resident Evil 8 is clearly RE4.
Right. And it's not even like where other series, when they say the words like remake, it means like we're doing ground up. We've had Pokemon remakes in the past, right? So we've had Hoenn remakes, we've had Kanto and remakes of the Johto remakes, and all of them basically are just like the same games again. So I don't know what people were expecting in this experience.
Yeah, who knows?
So yeah, if you want just those Pokemon games again, or just a good Pokemon game, I think they're still fine games. They're some of my favorite generations of games. They obviously do some modern things to them, like you don't need HMs anymore, and like some quality of life stuff that matter. It is going to be unbalanced decently, and it's going to be a bit buggy, but the bugs have already started to get patched out. I'm hoping they might go back and do some balanced stuff, but I just really doubt it. But I'd say it's worth checking out if you like Pokemon, so
cool.
Yeah, that's kind of big Pokemon stuff.
As for things we've seen, really, I've just been watching Mayor of Kingstown on Paramount Plus.
So you have Paramount Plus?
Yeah. I have it for like $1. I have a weird thing where one of my credit cards, one of the rewards was
my
Like
Amex I think has that.
$3 back on Paramount Plus or whatever.
My Amex is the dumbest thing for subscription services half time. I just have to watch it because I'll get some of those, and they're like, "Do you want Spotify? We'll give you most of the money back." And I'm like, "I guess."
Well, so how long does yours last?
It's like a month or two, or
I
depending
was
what it
gonna
is.
say because I never see like when I looked on. I have a Chase that's through. When I looked on the app, there's no like, oh, this deal ends at the end of November. Like Discovery Plus was another one too, and it's
I
like,
do know I had the Chase Discovery Plus and I just never used it.
um,
I will pull mine up right now and tell you.
the Discovery Plus one was like the first charge has to be by December.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, so how long is this? Just a month that it's
Update on my Chase card. I currently have no subscription service discounts. Sadly, I did for a while.
Yeah.
But I have my favorite is I have 10% off of StubHub, which is my favorite.
Yeah.
If you ever watch those people, if you have a good credit card, you gotta watch these. I get like 10% off hotels right now and shit.
Yeah. So if you use that StubHub and then use like just go watch a sports YouTuber and they'll have a SeatGeek or a StubHub deal.
Mm-hmm.
And those work in combination.
Because it's different.
So I think I think SeatGeek is like 20% if you do it right, or $20 something.
Yeah,
it's
no, because my
$20,
StubHub
20%, whatever it is.
My StubHub one is 10% after $50 up to $60 back, which is like if you get a group of people and you're buying tickets and they're just Venmoing you, you might be able to get your seats for free. I'm just saying.
In theory, yeah. Well, you'd need a big group because...
Or you're heavily discounted.
Yeah.
Like.
But anyway, so Mayor of Kingstown is Taylor Sheridan's newest project. He's the guy behind Yellowstone.
Okay.
Hell and High Water. He was one of the writers of Sicario.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, he's got chops.
And it must be something.
It's a good show.
Okay, that sounds like something directly up your alley.
Yeah, and it helps that it's set in Michigan.
Yeah, there aren't many shows set in Michigan, I feel like, unless you're like in the UP and they're like some like crazy people.
I mean, the problem is like if you're gonna set a show in the Midwest, you either set it in Chicago or you know, a generic area.
Yeah, you either set it in Chicago or the country, but they're both Midwest somehow. Those are the only options.
You know, there's not too many shows that are set in either real or fictional Michigan, just because, I mean...
Yeah, unless you want to do it in Detroit, at that point you're really pushing it. You're in the Midwest still, but you're kind of like feeling-wise pushing it.
Well, in like, you think about... Detroit's gone through such a renaissance that if you're going to set a modern show and like a grimy Detroit and try to play it off as like, this is what Detroit is still, anybody from the area is just going to laugh at you. Because, yeah, obviously there's still the rough areas, but
it's not what it was.
It's a city that has, the citizens of Detroit have pulled that city up. Basically, corporations be damned. It's a really cool story. If you ever get the chance to look into like the local food scene and some of the things like that are happening that are helping bolster Detroit, it's really cool because it's this kind of it's the people taking back the city. So it's been really cool to see that. But yeah, other than that, I haven't really been watching anything. To relate to one of the things that you're going to talk about here in a sec, I did read both of the Eddie Kingston and Amanda Hubert Players Tribune articles. If you're going to read Amanda's one, be ready for some waterworks, especially if you knew, like, not necessarily knew John, but like knew of his story. Especially when he left WWE. it pulls on some heartstrings.
I can imagine.
And Eddie Kingston's is such like a good look into how that guy operates.
Yeah, that guy is. But yeah, I guess we'll jump into it. Yeah, I've been watching some AEW stuff. I watched part of like Full Gear and that kind of stuff. I think Full Gear might be one of the best pay-per-view in a long time. Just period across wrestling.
I really want to see. I mean, I think the problem is I'd have to go to like the Chicago area, but I want to see AEW live.
AEW live in Chicago is a special fucking because it's Punk now. Like now you actually have Punk there.
Well, and I don't necessarily care about like Punk, but like okay, they're in.
But as a market, Chicago I thought was the biggest market for wrestling.
Raleigh, DC, Cleveland, Chicago.
They come by like twice a year. It's normally Thanksgiving, and it's usually one other time. It's usually the AEW coming through Chicago time.
Like they're out into April, and
I bet you they'll be back around. Oh, you know when they're back always is September because it's always all out here.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. It's usually Thanksgiving and September. Those are usually your 2 times. They're like around. This year is 3 because of Punk's return, but that's it.
Well, they're back in February.
In Chicago?
Yeah.
Oh, no, my bad. I should know about
that. At Wintrust.
Oh, it's at Wintrust. Okay, that's why. That's why I did not think of that. I am going to...
I would like to see them because everything that I've seen is that...
their live shows are great.
Yeah.
Like, they pull on a much better live show than...
WWE.
100%. So I think part of it is... It's twofold, and we'll get back to Full Gear kind of that in a second, is... so you obviously have dark matches, but the difference between AEW dark matches and WWE dark matches is the AEW ones matter. You know they matter. So actually, it doesn't, production-wise, you don't really notice the difference besides the banner around the table or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. Like, otherwise, they're the same thing. You still have, like, your dark match can still be a headliner of something that matters. Which, as you can imagine, is way different than, like, a WWE one. You're like, why do we go to dark shows ever?
I mean, I will say that my favorite match that I've seen of WWE's was a dark match. It was Dean Ambrose versus John Cena.
Oh, that would be good. I'll give you that.
And Ambrose had a kendo stick. It was very good.
So speaking of, back to Full Gear. I still think with the idea in Full Gear that they not only pulled out tables, ladder, and chairs with a non-TLC match, and then they also put the frickin' tacks like on the frickin' stage and made someone eat them. Like, well, it feels like that match was like
very
they were
interesting,
doing
right? Like AEW appears to be pulling from, like, that's the indie scene side of it. Like the indie scene is full of these, like, not necessarily death match, but like prop match gimmicks.
But like prop that WWE will not touch anymore.
No, because WWE doesn't need to.
They do, but go on.
Well, no, like from their standpoint, like why deal with that? Why deal with that liability?
Right, that is so liable. Yeah.
Like, you're gonna make $1 billion every year because the Saudis decided to give you money. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely a breath of fresh air seeing, you know, just watching, like, if you watch SmackDown compared to, you know, either Rampage or Dynamite, like, how different it feels.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's effectively the same thing, right? Like, it's wrestling. Like,
but sure, but it comes down to also, I think the difference is, and I stick with that, is it feels like the wrestlers want to be there a lot more in AEW than they do in WWE.
Well, it feels like, WWE feels like, oh, this is clearly run by somebody that has no idea what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas AEW appears to be like, oh, like they care. Like WWE doesn't care. And I understand why, because they're always touring. Right? So like it's hard for them to, if you think about it, it's hard for them to build characters or build storylines because, not only do they have Raw and SmackDown and the pay-per-views, but they also have like the house shows that they do. So, why should Becky Lynch, for example, why should she go on a hot streak when, maybe they're going into a town that like nobody knows about wrestling? Like,
mm-hmm.
It's very much WWE it pulls in the casual crowd for those events.
So I think goes back to that problem also is WWE, as I go back to, as I always like railing on house shows like I just did, is house shows to WWE are times to test new things that they'll just pretend didn't exist a week later. AEW, if they're testing new things on their YouTube show, it is still at an AEW sanctioned event, and they're still defining it as part of the storyline, and it happened.
Yeah.
So I think that risk ratio, sure, maybe they take less risk sometimes in those matches, and that's maybe valid, but it's also their roster is smaller, so it's like everyone wrestles against everyone.
Well, and like,
or it's a visitor from a different entire wrestling thing. So that's, even if it's a whole new match no one's seen before, it's because you brought on a Ring of Honor guy or you brought on some indie scene in the area.
Speaking of, can we talk about how cool it was that a lot of the AEW guys got to do stuff for Ring of Honor there for their final?
Yeah, no, that is, and it was like, they brought out some heavy hitters.
They brought out the guys that you wanted to see.
Yes.
Although they couldn't get Joe, which that pisses me off.
Because AEW brought on some Ring of Honor people, I thought, too, like Jay Lethal and a few others.
Well, like, if you think about, and I don't know if you're really that big of a fan when these guys were big, but like if you think about that era of Ring of Honor, it was Punk, Bryan Danielson, Samoa Joe, Jay Lethal. Like, there were some heavy hitters.
Yeah, because Samoa Joe is a free agent right now, isn't he?
I think he's technically still under WWE's control.
I thought he got released as the non.
I think he's released, but he's still part of the 90-day no-compete.
Because I could see a world where he goes to AEW.
I think, if anything, he's a coach now. Like,
sure, but I think it's an AEW coach.
Or he, maybe he becomes a commentator because he's very good on the mic.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that allows Taz some time to, get with his son and things like that. Like, because it was cool for Taz to call Hook's first match.
Mm-hmm.
But also, like, in a way, it feels kind of weird because you want your commentators to be, at the very least, neutral. And it's kind of hard for a guy whose son is wrestling in front of him to be neutral or to play the heel or face commentator. It's one of those, like, it's cool that that Taz gets to do it, but also when you think about it, it's kind of weird. Because isn't Taz kind of like the face commentator? I'm trying to remember. I mean, they like, that's the thing, right? Like, AEW.
Like, I did get it right. He was released on April, but he was re-entered in June.
Maybe he signed a different.
Because he was released under Raw and re-entered under NXT.
Oh, that's why. Because he's part of NXT 2.0. I think he's a coach down there right now.
Maybe. He's injured since September. No one's seen him wrestle since then.
So, yeah, that's cool. House of Gucci you have on here.
Yeah.
Is it as bad as I think it is?
I actually decently like it.
Really?
Yeah, did you not like any of the trip? So part of it, it's very fucking Italian. I want to point out the obvious thing. I have never seen a more Italian movie maybe in my life.
I mean, that part I was fine with, because obviously it's set in Italy, so whatever. But
It's half Italy, half New York. Like,
yeah.
if where's Italian America? New York City.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, okay.
No, the characters, like, I don't know, everything just seemed like it had an aura of douchebaggery around it that I just did not want to deal with.
I think part of it is when I looked up stuff after, I think it actually sounds like it was pretty accurate in the douchebaggery.
Oh, I have no doubt. Like
literally
those fashionista people are some of the
Selma Hayek plays a psychic in the movie who apparently was a real person in real life. That I'm like, what the fuck?
Well, is it like the movie's fairly accurate in terms of
no, the movie seemed like surprisingly accurate, considering those things get off the rails very quickly.
Well, and who did the show? Or no, that was Versace.
That was Versace.
Yeah.
Who also was murdered, by the way.
Yep.
Those fashionistas are special.
They getting gone down. Yeah, so obviously, it's a little bit longer of a break between episodes. I know you've been kind of on a decompression break. I've just been busy with work and holidays and traveling and things like that. So, we'll talk about it more in some of the upcoming episodes, but as kind of a precursor as of right now for shows for the new year. The F1 show is going to be behind some kind of a paywall. We haven't quite figured that out yet. It just takes too much effort,
to watch all of them. And
well, if we want to do it the right way, it just takes too much effort. So, if we can get compensated for it in some way, then that makes that effort a little more worth it. So that's just a heads up, right? Like, we're not going to try to gouge you for like $10 a month just for that show, but
we'll figure it out. I think there's still a lot to figure out. That's probably bleeding into a bit into the year, but yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. So, yeah. Into other news, I think my favorite news story I've seen of all time is that a man with one eye faces life in prison because of a bi-coastal opioid ring.
What are... Oh.
Fetty Wap faces life in prison. I wondered why I hadn't heard much from him. That was why. That's just whatever.
I had to put that in just because I felt like a good opening to us returning is yeah.
It's just ridiculous.
We found a Fetty Wap story, people.
Yep.
Otherwise, it's been calm on the TV film side. The other thing is people want to go check out from a couple weeks ago is there was Disney Plus Day. Obviously, as you can imagine, Disney Plus announces a bunch of stuff, including new TV shows across the board, Marvel and the likes of them. So if you're interested, I didn't put a news thing there because AJ is not usually interested in these. It's just go Google it. I promise you can find a nice just of all things that are announced. So yeah.
On to game news stuff. So the Game Awards were recently.
Yeah, I watched them. By that, I drank during them.
I was... Let's see, that was the night of my birthday. What was I doing? I don't think I was doing anything. I think I was just chilling. There we go. Winners. God damn, it takes forever. View winners. Good lord. Okay. So, Game of the Year, It Takes Two. Wins over Deathloop, Metroid Dread, Psychonauts 2, Ratchet and Clank, and RE8. I think that's good. Game direction, Deathloop wins that.
So my issue with this was not the awards, like who won, right? Whatever. It was the show. AJ, you just need to pain yourself for like a half hour of the show. So it was about 3.5 hours, okay?
Oh, I remember the last time they did it in person. It was ridiculous.
I think 90 minutes of that was ads.
Not surprising.
I think 40 minutes of that was like games we already knew existed. I think 5 minutes of it might have been award speeches. Like, that's what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
Like, it was disgusting across the board on that. Like, it was not...
Okay, so I clicked on Content Creator of the Year. I don't know any of them. Best esports athlete. There's a guy whose name is Simp, which I think is hilarious. I don't know any of them. Team. I don't know who won. Oh, there's CSGO team. I know some of the others. Best esports event, man, not much to pick from.
They're like, someone was in person?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, so, and then, the whole thing of, they're not going to talk about the Activision Blizzard stuff, and then didn't they go straight into
the David Cage game?
Yeah, a trailer for David Cage. Like, yeah. We'll talk about a lot of the stuff, though, to come out of game news here coming up right now, because we are getting into the Game of the Year discussion.
I like how he's just dropping everything. He's just going straight for it.
Well, I mean, a lot of the stuff in there is stuff that we're going to cover.
Yeah, so. I put it there in case anything we wanted to hit. But yeah. Before we do that, I will make sure there's nothing in there. Yeah, no, it's fine. We'll fuck with Kotaku in a minute. Otherwise, people bought a bunch of people. Before we get there, just FYI, Unity bought Weta, which I think is the biggest one. Submerges.
Unity bought Weta Digital. They didn't buy all of Weta.
Sure, but okay, they still bought it for like 1.2 billion. Where the hell that was? It was a big deal. It was still a giant thing.
Yeah, it was still a huge acquisition. But as I read more into it, I was like, yeah,
I just think it was
for
like
what they got. It was a good price.
Sure, but also I just go back to Unity 5 years ago buying something that big would have been a shock.
5 years ago? Probably 10 years ago, definitely.
10 years ago, people would have been like, who?
Well,
Died already?
2010. Unity was around. I mean, it wasn't huge. It was mainly stuff.
It was like Unity became big when the indie revolution came in like 11, 12. That's kind of when Unity became Unity.
Well, like Unity before then was just like web games. So
yeah. But anyway, yeah. Game of the Year.
So here are the categories we've got this year. Most of these are the same from the previous years. We've got biggest mess or hottest mess, however you want to say it. Biggest surprise, Battlefield of the Year, worst game site of the year, and of course, Game of the Year. So to kick it off, biggest mess, we have
just Activision Blizzard.
Just Activision Blizzard. Like, there's too many things to single out just one. EA pushing Battlefield 2042 and it's still coming out broken. Google killing Stadia. The Epic,
that was the thing.
Yeah, the Epic versus Apple lawsuit. COVID killing in-person events again. NBA 2K22, NFTs, and the metaverse. So,
where would you like to begin?
I think we just start. Let's go bottom up, because I think as like some of these, especially the top one, is definitely.
I think the top ones are. I think our current front runner is Activision, but let's see if we could make it a run puts money. Remember, the rules as always is we make a top 3 and we from there determine the winner. At least in bigger categories like this one.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like the metaverse and NFT thing, like those are a mess, but I feel like that's a mess more to do with like it's tech bros wanting stuff to happen.
But it's like not just tech bros. It's like Ubisoft is now doing it, and like Facebook changed it into Meta, and like all these things that like.
Well,
so
NFTs, at least for NFTs is like, oh, that's the hot new thing right now.
Even though NFTs are a pyramid scheme, but I can understand them and I can conceptually get it, right? I'm not saying it's a good idea, but I conceptually kind of get like where the business incentive, yada yada. I don't think any two people use the term metaverse the same.
No, especially the way that we've seen it kind of just thrown around.
Like if you, because every game company in their investment portfolios are talking about the metaverse, and I don't think any of them have any clue. Because NFTs they've already defined beyond like basically think skins but one-time use. Great, we understand that. But no one is wrapping their head around what this means, and I'm not sure what they mean for metaverse.
Yeah. I don't.
Do they just mean living world? We already have those. Like I don't understand.
Yeah, I feel like having it in biggest mess, like metaverse is its own mess together. Like obviously, like just the term metaverse probably wins this category because of just nobody knows what it is. The only reason I would knock it off the list right now, I think NFT can at least like. I'm glad we acknowledged it. But,
NFT had been acknowledged. It could get blacked away or deleted. What you want to do to it, unless.
Yeah, I'm gonna strike through.
But I would argue we keeping metaverse for right now, and I would jump to the next.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say I think we have metaverse as like no matter what wins, like metaverse is a winner. Like we have two winners in this situation.
Okay, we'll come back to it then.
Yep.
Next one is the NBA 2K22. I understand it's busted. It's a bad game.
Not only is this game broken, it's got literal slot machines. It's got Jake from State Farm.
Fuck, I forgot that's a moment in there.
It's got some of the worst voice acting you've ever heard.
Yeah, Jake from State Farm was known as one of the better spots in that game.
And it's ruined instant. Like the second that game releases, it's ruined by guys that hack the.
So I'm gonna ask you a question though: is Jake from State Farm better or worse than a campaign brought to you by Spike Lee?
The campaign brought to you by Spike Lee wasn't that bad. It was a little weird, but it was kind of cool. Like it actually told a story, right? Like. I think that's the problem with a lot of sports games that want to have, like story modes. Mm-hmm. Is what happens when you finish the story, right? Does it just kick you out to, like, oh, you're gonna be a pro or whatever? Like, Madden did that for the longest. Well, once Longshot came around, like, Longshot, you did the year or two that they had story content for, and then it was just be a pro mode. Mm-hmm. The Spike Lee one, like, it told a nice, concise story, and then it spit you out to, like, it had a nice ending, and then it was like, and then, I forget what your character's name in that one is, but they went on to have a long career or whatever. Like, they put it so that it's very clear that you could just play for as long as you wanted, basically. But, I don't know. The NBA 2K games deserve to be on this list every year. I'm not saying they make the top 3, but they deserve to be on this list every year.
I will give it. We mentioned it. I would also move it off the list because I think there are at least 3 other things above it. I think.
Yeah, I can. I guess. I can immediately think of.
That's where I'm looking at. Is there realistically 3 things above it? And not realistically, is there for sure?
Yeah.
I would do the same thing to COVID again because it was last year. It is this year, yada yada, people be safe.
Yeah.
It was last year.
Yeah, it was last year too, I guess. And that's not necessarily like I guess it's not the virus itself, it's some of the countries and their responses. to how to handle. It's just that's a much bigger discussion, and it's not.
But I don't think it's biggest mess in this way.
It's not the biggest gaming mess. Biggest mess? It might be the biggest mess in the world this year. Bigger than Metaverse, but
next we have Epic v Apple.
Yeah, a billionaire trying to go up against a trillionaire. Yeah.
This is up there on biggest mess, and I think it stays on biggest mess right now.
Yeah, I guess we can talk about the ones that we think are going to be in the top 3. Like, we'll save the discussions until we need to narrow down between the 3. Mm-hmm. Yes, Epic v Apple stays. Google killing Stadia, I feel like stays for now, only because like the promise of what Stadia was going to be, and for them to kill it so quickly. I mean, we can pull it if you think, EA or Metaverse are more of a mess. Because I just feel like you had people paying $200 just to get into Stadia for like the Chromecast and the controller, and then it was $10 a month.
Hear me out though, and this is what I want to say. Is it more of a mess now than it ever was before? And I don't think so.
Well, it's not a mess now because it's dead, but
that's what I'm trying to say. Like, it went out without ceremony, but it's not really dead. It changed to it's like how HoloLens is not dead. It changed where it is inside of the ecosystem. It's one of those.
Yeah, it's more of a back end thing now, but I don't know. I just feel like having that storefront and charging full price for some of those games, and then killing the service. And a lot of people didn't know, like, okay, are my purchases still going to be accessible?
Are they? I actually don't know the answer to
that. I can still log into Stadia and play some of the games that I didn't buy anything. I had a pro membership.
Sure, but interesting.
But yeah, I think there's a way that you can play them. Like, it's not completely gone, but it's certainly not as easy as it used to be. Battlefield being broken, like,
we wanted better, we expected better.
We expected better because it's Battlefield, but also it's EA.
And it's modern EA.
Yeah. And all of their stuff comes out broken. So, yeah, I'm fully willing to let Battlefield die.
Yeah, I think Battlefield's gonna die.
I think it'll have its moment in the sun in a later one, but
so that puts us at 4.
Yeah.
So now the question is, who gets eliminated? I think it's Stadia gets eliminated.
Yeah, my fight. Between Stadia, the lawsuit, Metaverse, and Activision.
Yeah.
Stadia dying, it's sad to see the talent that was involved in making that a thing.
Oh, there was 100% issues. It is still a biggest mess.
Yeah.
It is not.
It's the 4th biggest mess of 2021.
Yes. So here becomes the question, though. I think Epic v Apple, ironically, is 3rd on this list.
Yeah, it doesn't. There's no way Epic v Apple stands up against, like...
It was your biggest punching bag and your favorite punching bag of the last year.
I mean, here's its only shot is to take down Metaverse.
Yeah, because we'll get to it. My favorite thing about the Activision Blizzard one, also, by the way, is all of the issues came up in the last 4 weeks related to Activision Blizzard, basically, or public in the last 4 weeks. Like, Activision Blizzard was not on this list if this was 4 weeks ago.
No, it would have been on the list.
But it would not have been as on the list as it is now.
I mean, they had to change a character in Overwatch, like, and that was back in October.
Sure, but that was not the CEO. There was not a massive eBay strike. Yeah. There was not, like, all of those things that, like, magnified it.
Yeah, I mean, it still would have made top 3. In much the same way that the Ubisoft Boys Club made top 3 last year, 2 years ago.
But
yeah. Sorry, Epic v. Apple.
You are third.
Neither of you win. Again. My favorite thing to come from that is that Apple doesn't have to allow third-party payments.
And my favorite thing is they agreed before this, when the lawsuit's over, they'll let Fortnite back on. But because there's an appeal in the lawsuit, they're not letting them back on.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, okay, I guess the big fight here between Activision Blizzard and the Metaverse debacle, one of them has like direct implications to a bunch of people and just a shitty situation altogether. The other is just like a buzzword that nobody knows what's going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I think this was a couple weeks ago. I think I would have fought harder for Metaverse. But I want to remind people, it is December 14th. In the last, we'll say 2 months from Activision Blizzard, yes, they had to rename a guy in Overwatch, which, because another guy thinks sexual assault, was it?
Yeah,
which ironically
it was one
is
of the guys. Least... It was one of the guys on the Overwatch team, or
yeah, like it was not good. It was or leader, or whatever. The point was, but what I'm about to say is, on the scale of Activision Blizzard's fucking up.
Oh yeah, the Overwatch thing was like a blip on the radar.
That was the smoke to the fire.
Yeah.
It came out since then that Bobby Kotick knew about sexual assault. This is where it's good. Threatened people to keep it hidden. They brought in, because the leader of Blizzard left, remember? They brought in the male and the female.
Yep.
The female found out that she was getting paid less than the male after that happened. And that's why she quit. and then they offered the same salary, and she didn't take it, obviously, and quit. And we're getting the other parts of they brought in Bush's old like interrogator, who then Bobby Kotick blamed for an internal email he sent threatening someone. Oh, and by the way, all of QA is on a labor strike right now because they decided to lay off all of the temp QA in Raven Software for no actual reason.
Yeah, this is video game shittiness at its best. Or worse.
And by the way, Warzone right now is basically busted before the QA strike, and no one likes Vanguard, and it looks like it might be the softest selling Call of Duty in a long time.
Yeah. It's not good over there.
And that's just what we know.
Yeah, and like obviously, we're having fun railing on the company. It is a disgrace that a company that large let stuff happen the way that it did. Because the number of people that like it directly affected or, even indirectly affected is so big. And like, you just heard stories of like, much in the same way that we were hearing stories out of like Ubisoft, where it was just like, oh, this is just a culture thing. Like, it's a boys club at the top. It's not that, you're not going to get past a certain point because they won't let women past a certain point or, this or that. Like, it's shitty. Like, the sad part is, I guarantee you next year we're going to have one of these scandals on the list again.
Mm-hmm.
It's just it's just too cyclical at this point. Like, so I guess congratulations, dipshits over at Activision Blizzard. You win biggest mess of the year.
Woo!
I would not cheer that one.
Oh, boo!
They deserve zero response. On to biggest surprise. Basically, so the idea behind this one is just things that, like, if I told you at the beginning of the year this stuff happened,
you would be shocked.
What?
Okay.
Really? Like, you're telling me that Sony made a good PC port? Or G4 relaunch?
Yeah.
Or EA lost the Star Wars license?
I don't know if that one might be really shocking. This is a hard one because some of the stuff is less shocking than it should be.
Okay, so let's go through them. So consoles are still hard to get. Obviously like the Series S appears to be easy.
Can I do an asterisk there? Consoles are still hard to get. / PS5 was outselling PS4 time for time.
Yeah, it's nuts. Like, obviously, like you can get consoles, but they're scalper prices, or
it's still the drops of insanity.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. So, consoles are not retail available. I guess I'll put it that way. Like, you can't find them regularly at a store.
I just found a Kotaku article today that just said, a year later, it still sucks seeing a PS5 or Xbox.
Yeah. And I guess this next one relates to our stream last week. The disappointment with Halo Infinite. Like, I don't know. It didn't do anything for me. Like, it didn't even feel like a good Halo game. Like, obviously Sony making good PC ports. The Riot debacle getting buried in the Activision news.
Yeah, when we looked at that, I said, I forgot that happened.
Yes, Riot had their own thing going on. It was nowhere near the scale of the Activision thing, but it was shitty nonetheless. The Star Wars license is open to bidders and G4 relaunches. Which one do you want to start with first?
Oh, fuck. I would say something I would fight for immediately removing is the Star Wars license is open because, God, we all knew once that thing was available to EA, was losing that fucker.
Yeah, but did we know that it was up? I guess that's the reason it's on here, is like, there was no news that it was expiring. It was just like all of a sudden one day, oh yeah, Ubisoft's got a Star Wars game coming out.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, hold on, what?
The way it said it was shocking.
Yeah.
But like,
the fact that it's open, I guess if we reworded this to Ubisoft has a Star Wars game,
that might be more shocking.
Okay, I'll reword it.
But David Cage is a Star Wars game.
Ubisoft
and David Cage.
I mean, that's not surprising. I feel like David Cage would make one even if he didn't have the license.
Okay, then I'm going to jump to the next one.
Yeah.
Sony makes good PC ports. I think is another one that I don't think them actually doing it is shocking. I don't think them being good is shocking. Because they've had PC ports or funneled with it in the past, and they are, in theory, a place with enough engineers that someone understands PC.
Yeah. I guess it's
them
more
doing it is somewhat shocking.
Yeah.
But like it being good, and like eventually people have been talking about this for a while. Like there's been that Bloodborne rumor forever. Like I don't know if I think it's.
I'm happy. I guess the Sony one making actually good PC ports is the one that makes me happy. Like of this list, like oh yeah, okay, yeah, whatever. Sony actually investing in PC is nice because it proves like they're kind of with the times now.
So I would remove that off the list.
Okay.
We mentioned it. I would say it's removable.
We've got a new one on the list.
Yeah, I thought of one that I don't know why I didn't think of earlier that I have to be brought up. The NVIDIA leak from a couple months ago that has been proven correct. That just announced like 30 games in there.
Oh, the GeForce Now leak?
That GeForce Now was, yeah.
Okay,
and since then, 10 or 11 of them have been announced, which means that list is legitimate. And it was games on that list that we didn't expect to be real.
Well, so it's funny, right? I was considerably backlogged on the Giant Bombcast, and one of the episodes that I listened to recently covers the leak news, and they were discussing, like, you look at the list, and a lot of the stuff was like, okay, sequels of things that are popular, this or that. Like, it was more surprising of stuff that was coming to PC.
Mm-hmm. And since then, that list has been time and time again, like, it's been enough accurate where I'm willing to believe the list at this point.
I mean, at the very least, looking at that list is like, okay, here's what NVIDIA either knows or is thinking is going to happen.
I bet you it's what they know. I don't know. It doesn't mean where and what. Like, it could be years from now. Because I would believe that, like, people went to them who are big game studios, like, we're going to make X, we need X tech or whatever. Like, that's believable.
Right, yeah. I guess it's surprising in the fact that list got out. But also, like, I don't know. The fact that it didn't even make the list at first.
Sure, but I think at least it needed to be mentioned. Because...
Yeah, it definitely needs to be mentioned. That being said, like, again...
But I just thought it needed to be added once I remembered that was a thing, because how do we not talk about the most insane thing humanly possible?
Like, there's going to be database leaks. I mean, obviously the Twitch one happened. Like, these things happen a lot. It's just this one actually has some fire behind it.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's good that we mentioned it. I feel like until everything on that list is proven accurate, because there's definitely some stuff on that list that's like, okay, you guys are just reaching now. So I would say the console's being still hard to get. Like,
yeah, I'd say the same thing. I'm going to move that one off the list.
Yeah, it's a disappointment, but also maybe it's not a surprise if you follow any of the supply chain news. So,
and also if you looked at even then, like, obviously cars and phones would get priority over consoles. Yeah. Like, just legitimately, like, it's not that insane. It's insane, but, like, not in the scheme of.
I think so. We're down to 4.
I think it's Halo we move next.
You think Halo we remove?
Because that thing has been for how long in development that people have been making fun of
it's development hell, definitely. So I guess
that's part of me, is once you're in development hell, it being a disappointment does not shock me.
Yeah. And maybe it's not as much of a disappointment for you and I because we don't really have that affiliation with the franchise. But somebody that is like Halo through and through, this game, I would be like, I am so sorry for you. But
that's why, to me,
for you and I, it's not that big of a surprise. So it gets struck through.
This was the super easy top 3 to make. Now it's the fun part.
I don't know. G4 was a thing last year.
Yeah, I put G4 in 3rd.
Okay.
I think it goes G4 3rd, Ubi 2nd.
So here's the thing, like, just with the G4 news, like, seeing some of that stuff, like seeing clips of it. God, that channel did not need to come back.
No.
Yeah, I mean, obviously good on, like, Austin and Abby and Sessler getting back in front of a camera is pretty big. In terms
but hear me out. I think Sessler in old age has not aged like fine wine. He's aged like a fine piece of bread.
Yeah.
Take that for what you will.
I mean, like, I guess it's important in the sense of he was kind of the first. Like, he and Gerstmann are really kind of the first, not necessarily like Rockstar reviewers.
Oh no, I understand his historical importance. Yeah. He's gone crazy.
Oh yeah.
Like across 10,000. He is. My favorite part is he's gone crazy in front of a camera. He's like I call it the crazy resistance Twitter part of where if Trump breathes, it must be because the end of the republic is coming. Like it's like he's that. He's gone
his Twitter
across the board. Like there was a video he tweeted like a couple months ago of just him dancing in his underwear, and I don't remember why.
Yeah, I guess, honestly, I think Riot wins this one just because it's more it's a big surprise because like the Riot thing should have been in hottest mess.
Mm-hmm.
But it was nowhere near the hot mess that was coming out of Activision. So I think that's the surprise, is that like as bad as Riot was, there was something way worse coming.
But we just didn't know.
Yeah. So Ubisoft getting a Star Wars game, good on them. I think the surprise there was from the way that it was announced, not necessarily.
Yeah, that's fair.
On to Battlefield of the Year. You will understand this category once we start going through it.
The first Battlefield of the Year is...
We always have kind of a joke category. In the past, we've had like Call of Duty Gun of the Year. Or what was it, like Gun of the Year. We had Hitman Level of the Year. We've always had kind of a fun category. So, Battlefield of the Year nominees are Battlefield 2042.
That's a good one.
Vanguard's take on World War II. Gaming Twitter. The Northern District of California Courthouse.
For multiple reasons, ironically.
Yeah. And the arenas around Bucharest, Romania.
God. Immediately, I just want to say it. I would just remove the 2 video games off this one and just go at it with the rest of them.
I mean, this is totally like the category. When I was thinking of this one, I was like, we need to have a joke one where like we just have a fun couple of digs at a couple of games, and then we just go into something.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what this category is all about. Yeah, I mean, obviously, Battlefield of the Year, you would think it'd be 2042. Nah, son. Vanguard is just too bad.
Too bad. I do want to point out, though, and this should have been the hottest mess, and I apologize to everyone who's waiting for this one. Can we all appreciate for a second how in Battlefield they forgot to give buildings colliders?
They do, don't they?
No. In the launch of the game, for a couple hours, they forgot to give a certain map. None of the buildings had colliders, so you could walk or fly through them. Someone forgot.
I don't think I experienced that. I experienced some bugs, like hovercrafts being able to drive up the side of buildings, which was hilarious. But yeah, I didn't see anything about no colliders.
I'll find you the video in the chat in a moment. But yeah, no, it was straight like there was a strategy where people were taking helicopters, waiting in buildings for people to come by, because you could just be in a building.
Well, that's what a lot of people are doing with the hovercraft. Is you could take it up smooth vertical walls. So like, there's one map where it's a ship that's being salvaged. So they would take the hovercraft, get it up on the side of the ship, and the driver would just basically park it. You'd have to hold gas forward, I think. And then you could just mow people down with the minigun on top. This was still when the hovercraft was overpowered. So it was just hilarious to begin with. Yeah, Vanguard's take on World War II. Like, that game's too broken to be taken seriously. Even if this category was being taken seriously, it wouldn't stand a chance. The Bucharest arenas, that is where So Bucharest was where the International was. A couple of CS tournaments were there. Some big esports events happened in that city. I think it's third.
I
think it's third.
I think it's
third. It's cool that, obviously, like the International, the teams were in person at the very least. So that was pretty awesome to see, because you got to see the joy and elation on a Russian B tier. I think it was a Russian team. It was a B tier team win like $19 million or something like that. It was just nuts. Gaming Twitter will always be on this list.
Yeah. So do I know it's gaming Twitter? Fuck, I don't know who's gonna win this. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah. I mean, in terms of like one of these, I would say is more concise. The other is a modern Battlefield, if you will. But yeah, I mean, I think if we're taking into account the impact of what happened at that location and how that affects, like what happened, how it directly affects gaming, and also how it affects just business in general, especially when it comes to media stuff. I honestly think the Northern District wins this one. Just because of the cases that are going through it or have gone through it.
Because both Activision and Epic the Apple is there. So yeah. I think that alone will make it. And it might be back next year for an honor award.
Yeah.
I promise you, most of those judges hadn't even heard of most video game terms before these.
Oh, I guarantee it.
They're like
it's hilarious to watch the senators talk to, whether it was Zuckerberg or
God help me all,
any of the others. Like
the Finsta is the greatest moment of all time.
Yeah.
Patrick Leahy? Yeah, it's Patrick Leahy, right?
Yeah, I think so.
You all would know him as in every Batman movie ever.
Yep. Because he was
he's in every. That's so he loves Batman.
Yeah,
so he's been in every Batman movie since like the 80s.
Wasn't he? I feel like he did something like, yeah, okay, it was a nice little nod, but I feel like he did something, or maybe
in Dark Knight he was the senator that grabbed, and he got blown up, and he was the senator giving the speech, whatever, when they got blown up, and Batman or Superman.
No, I was thinking, like in actual politics, I think he either named something or.
Oh yeah, there's something. I don't remember what.
Something that was kind of a cool little nod to that, but yeah. So congratulations to the Northern District of California. Your courthouse is officially the Battlefield of the Year. Perfect.
Now, for the fun category.
This is a Mike category, by the way.
The worst gaming stuff. So we've, over the past couple months, introduced some great segment here where I make fun of usually like a website, but there's a couple in there anyways, right? But the worst gaming site of the year. We only have 3, because I don't think the rest of them really stack up comparatively.
Well, so I mean, and these are like the big ones, right? Like,
sure, there was going to be pieces of shit out there on the internet. I'll give you that. Number 1, and number 1 isn't first. We have Kotaku. Do I need to explain more? Do we all understand why Kotaku sucks? Good.
I feel like, so just to kind of defend them a little bit, not that I'm actually defending Kotaku.
Yeah, I don't think you do.
Kotaku pre Gawker losing the Hulk Hogan suit was respected.
I'll agree. 10 years ago, they were respected.
Well, that wasn't even 10 years ago. That was, 5 years ago?
Sure.
But I think as a result of that lawsuit and them having, like, Gawker having to cut a bunch of their top people, Like, it's basically Kotaku in name only at this point.
And Kotaku this year specifically, when they brought in the new editor-in-chief.
Yeah.
That Kotaku this year has been multitude of special across a multitude of things, going from maybe don't tell people to pirate a new game to how does development work apparently 101 to like all of this.
Yeah.
Number 2, we have Waypoint in quotes. I understand it's not really Waypoint, it is whatever they call it now over there. Waypoint is Waypoint, and it's going to need a third one in this category. And congratulations, Polygon. It's so irrelevant now, Waypoint beat you. Which I think is pretty impressive.
That, yeah.
By itself is impressive.
That's pretty impressive.
And then we got Fanbyte, because I had not heard of Fanbyte until like this year or late last year. And somehow, I'm convinced it gives Kotaku a run for its money. Between the writers on the staff, who I'm convinced don't know anything, to what they talk about, I'm not sure they like video games even, to I appreciate how they'll call it every human's right offense in the world, besides the fact that they have Tencent and Chinese money out there, so they're basically random articles how China is great.
Hey. It's all about that money, right?
Because they're funded by Tencent.
Yeah. Which, that might be a category for next year, is implosion of the year, Tencent. If the Chinese government has anything to say about it.
But, like, it's funny, because, like, so Fanbyte was the one even, that during, there's the height of Israel stuff in May.
Yeah.
They were having articles about Israel. Why video game website are we doing this?
Yeah, yeah.
It's not even like the Fallujah fluffle, where at least it's related to an event or something or whatever, right? You're just now talking about world politics, which I'm positive if I said, where's Israel on a map, none of you could point it out. But,
yeah,
yes, I agree with what you said. So the winners of this category is third place by a hair is Waypoint, and you just get third place because you beat up Polygon. And again, Polygon, you really should look in a mirror to tell you something. Waypoint doesn't really exist anymore, and you didn't even get third. Second, we'll go to the Chinese and their video game arm full of apparently people defined as A-list journalists, even though I've never heard of any of these people at this website ever. Followed by Kotaku, and specifically, I would argue, post-restructured Kotaku in the last year, because, hell, I don't know, maybe don't tell people to pirate games, and maybe something about development. And I don't even mean like complex stuff, I understand you know that. Learn basic stuff, people.
Yeah, and we don't need a category for this because everybody knows the best game site of the year. The only game site that has hit shows like Back to School, Born to Run, The Very Online Show. No, I mean, I love, like, you and I allude to it a lot that we are fans of what Giant Bomb has to offer, and I think the way that site has adapted itself for, I guess, remote operation has been very impressive. And some of the moves with like the new shows, people that they're getting to be involved with those shows, like, it's very much like, that site could have A-listers on its podcast every week if Jeff wanted to flex. Like, he could flex on every video game podcast. Like, he could pull out his Rolodex of A through F and be, in A list. And then once he got bored of that, he would go G to like the end of the alphabet or whatever. Dude can, like, it's very impressive, to say the very least. Speaking of impressive,
Du, du, du.
We are now on to Game of the Year.
Dun, dun, dun.
The 5 nominees are as
Dun,
follows.
dun, dun.
Hitman 3.
Da, da, da.
Yakuza Like a Dragon.
Dun, dun, dun.
Resident Evil Village.
Dun, dun, dun.
Hades.
Did that not come out last year?
It came out this year. Its
Well, okay,
official
well, it
release was this year. Yeah, August.
Okay, it must have been like the edge of this year. My apologies.
It was August.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
I played it in February on my Switch.
2021 in video games. August.
For console release, probably.
Hades. PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X.
When did it come out on Switch?
Good question.
Hades came out on Switch in September 17th of 2020.
I mean, also, like, if we think about their console release, like...
Okay, that's fine, but Hades is going to win.
I mean, also, do you have another option? Like,
no, this year was not a good year.
I was going through the list, and I'm like, oh, boy.
Like, even of games that we didn't play, it's not like there are many hits that we missed.
Oh, you mean Paw Patrol, the movie Adventure City Calls isn't Game of the Year? Spelunky 2, but I haven't played enough of it.
But no one talked about it, I feel like.
No.
And lastly, I added Ratchet and Clank.
So I guess Deathloop came out this year.
So that's one that I think is a valid one, but we didn't play it.
Yeah, I didn't play it. So, like, unfortunately, there's a lot of, like, heavy hitters that you and I just didn't play.
But you say that a lot? I think it's a weak year.
I mean, like, Darksiders 3. That's a pretty big one. Ghost Runner didn't do that well. Lost Judgment. Like, I wish I played that.
I'm not saying there's nothing.
That's the
but I think if I looked at it over the past couple of years, it's COVID delays hit us.
Yeah. Deltarune Chapter 2. You know, like, there were some big games that came out this year. It's just you and I just didn't play them. So that's the sad reality of that. So I guess we can strike Hades off the list. I'm going through the releases to see. Returnal, I didn't play it, unfortunately.
That's one that would be on there probably, or at least be discussed.
MLB The Show, just for some of the cool stuff that they did. Let's see. Yeah,
I played Miles last year. Pokemon I don't think goes on that list.
Man, yeah.
Yeah, because my stuff was early in the year, and I'm trying to think what else it was.
I know.
Yeah, it's not a good year. Again, there are not zero heavy hitters, but I think comparatively to years past heavy hitters, between quantity and quality.
Yeah. Like, a lot of games came out. You know, that's very true.
But
either we didn't play them. I guess, do we want to include Mass Effect Legendary Edition?
I think
what's our stance on re-releases? Like,
I think if they are substantial, or I tend to,
was Mass Effect substantial enough to be on this list?
I would almost say no. Then,
right?
I think it feels. I think 1 is probably the biggest changes in it.
Okay.
But I still think, as a whole, I don't think it was enough.
Okay.
So
F1 2021, broken as hell. That was actually almost on biggest surprise. The F1 was by Codemasters, or EA buying Codemasters.
The bidding wars.
Yeah, that was fun to watch. Ethiopia, we didn't play that enough. Insurgency Sandstorm, I will get around to playing that because that looks awesome. I'll Let Loose, I definitely want to play. Far Cry 6, it's a good Far Cry. I just don't think it stands.
Mm-hmm.
October. AoE 4. I've heard good things, but again, didn't play it enough. I didn't play it at all. Call of Duty Vanguard, Boston. Forza Horizon 5, I wish I played it because it would most likely be on the list. Battlefield 2042, Broken. December. As we stand, GTFO officially released. It's out of early access. Do we consider GTFO?
Do you think it's good enough to... What would be in the top 3? I think it's the World War ask.
No.
Then I would say at that point.
So we're down to 4. Because it's more of a result of we didn't play enough games.
I still think that list would not be giant, but yes.
Yeah.
It's been a weird year for us. Okay. God.
I mean, 2 of these games are like in the running for my game of the year, personal.
I am curious if we line up on one of them, we have our top 3.
Okay.
Do we both agree it's Hitman 3?
Yeah, like that is between Hitman and Yakuza. Those are.
So I think it's Hitman, Yakuza, and Ratchet.
Okay. I didn't play Ratchet, so I have no opinion on that game.
But even the critical praise of that one, I think it's insane. It's beautiful. I think there's a lot of things to it.
Yeah. I mean, RE Village was very cool. The stuff that they did was pretty sweet. Obviously, it had, Squish Me Lady.
Mm-hmm.
Which I thought was hilarious that she won Performance of the Year at the Game Awards. Even though she's really not in the game.
That was pretty funny.
So yeah, I would say our top 3 are Hitman, Yakuza, and Ratchet. Because, like, if we're going off just critical response, Ratchet was higher than RE, so...
I'm trying to determine, I can't find past articles enough in my drive. Is this the second time we're about to award a Hitman Game of the Year?
I mean, here's the thing. My heart... Like, my soul wants Hitman to win just because... I'm like, we need to have a tradition of the Hitman games winning because they're so good. But my heart's not in Hitman 3.
Wow.
My heart's in Yakuza.
God.
Like, if you asked me to choose between the 2, I'm taking Yakuza over Hitman.
That's unprecedented.
Like, if it was down to those 2, like...
But is it, though?
For Game of the Year?
Yeah, I don't know. I think Ratchet's up there.
I mean, we both have Hitman as our common.
Mm-hmm.
Would you take Hitman over Ratchet?
I think Hitman does certain things really impressive. I think it does dynamic storytelling really impressive. I think how they've made Hitman into a launcher and an application is super cool. I think it says something that Hitman's just continuing into next year as a thing. Ratchet, I think.
And the fact that, like, they took some of the stuff from Hitman 3, put it into, like, they're bringing 2 levels in and bringing 1 levels in, but they're actually putting work into them. Like, as a technical masterpiece, Hitman's Game of the Year. Like, if this is Game of the Year technical, it's Hitman. But it's not. This is Game of the Year. Like, you can take, technical and artistic out of it. Like, it's... I don't know. I've said my piece. I would take Yakuza over Hitman. If you would take Hitman over Ratchet, I think that's Ratchet, Hitman, Yakuza.
Yeah, I'll allow
Yakuza
it.
winning, like
I'll allow it. I will succeed to giving you that, but I think that is for the site will be the game of the year.
I mean, unless you think Ratchet is better than Hitman, and then it's Hitman, Ratchet, Yakuza. Well, okay. I guess the better question: did you play Yakuza Like a Dragon at all?
No, I did not. That's why I'm giving it to you.
And I didn't play Ratchet at all. So the problem is, if we think our solo games are better than Hitman, I think that makes Hitman 3.
Yeah.
You know, like, because I would take Yakuza over Hitman. If you take Ratchet over Hitman, that means Hitman's our 3.
I think that's accurate. I think I probably would take Ratchet. I think Ratchet does more unique things. I think Hitman does really cool things, unique things, but it does it in the context of Hitman that exists.
Yep. Okay. So now we're down to Japanese storytelling versus
American storytelling.
Well, Ratchet was
children.
a technical.
Yeah, it's a technical genius.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I would give it to Yakuza if you want.
I mean, here's my argument for Yakuza and why I think it's game of the year. Even if you're just going to give it.
Mm-hmm.
The Yakuza games have always been B tier games.
And this is the first time it wasn't.
Well, like, because they've just been ridiculous and, it was a small audience. Like, it was just stupid. Like, the people that played them knew they were stupid and took it and just ran with it and had a blast playing them. They changed up the combat style. They introduced a new protagonist. Like, they basically took the game, flipped it on its head, and the fact that it didn't fall apart
tells you everything.
In fact, if anything, like, it gained audience, right? Like, when that game came out, everybody was playing it. Everybody loved it. Everybody loved Ichiban and his just dumb look. Like, the cultural and critical response to the 7th game in a series that has never really been taken seriously,
mm-hmm.
for it to be as impressive as it was. I think that's why I think it's game of the year, just because it kind of did the impossible. Like, the Ratchet and Clank games have always been well liked.
Yeah, you don't mess me. I'll give you that.
Well, like, it's always been a series that are like, yeah, those are pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there may be some stinkers, but
as a whole, good. I will give it to you. What you said.
Yakuza's like, dude, you need to be a very specific fan of the way these games play, because otherwise they are boring. And they just made it, they made it a Dragon Quest game. Like, the fact they did that and it succeeded and it did as well as it did is very impressive. So, congratulations to the team behind Yakuza Like a Dragon.
And to our runner-ups.
Let me get the studio right, because that would
it's not, yeah.
It's Sega, but it's not Sega.
Mm-hmm.
Yakuza. It is Ryuga Gotoku.
Gotoku Studio.
Yeah. Ryuga Gotoku. Yeah. Congratulations there.
And congratulations to runner-ups in Hitman 3 of IO Interactive and Ratchet & Clank of Insomniac Games. Yeah, on that note, that is our Game of the Year stuff for this year. That is the end of our stuff for this year. Obviously, still no movie club. Interviews will come back as stuff comes back next year, as we restructure some stuff. But yeah, expect Movie Club back, expect us back on a normal regular basis. AJ and I will be hit and miss streaming the next couple weeks, but we'll be back, I think, beginning of next year.
There will be, there will be one final F1 show. When it's going to get recorded and when it's going to release are still TBD, but then
yeah. Next year will be a good year for us. It'll be a fun year.
Yeah. Hopefully we can get out and see everyone and maybe actually make it down to Atlanta and
sounds great.
Do that stuff in person.
Perfect. Well, we'll see you guys next time and have a happy everything.
This episode is partially brought to you by the Humble Choice program. Did you know Humble Bundle has a great monthly subscription service that lets you get a ton of video games every single month? That's right, from plans range from $5 to $20 a month, you get a hold of a bunch of free games they have available to you. And you can use our code down in the description below to go and sign up. It would help our podcast and help you see what great games are available for you this month.
This podcast was a production of the SWW Show. To learn more, go to theswwshow.com. Remember, you can follow the show on Twitter at the SWW Show. You can follow me at Mikey_Maroney. You can follow AJ at LowSeatBoy. Remember, new episodes premiere on Friday, 9 a.m. Central Time on anchor.fm/SWW and podcast services around the globe.